We're going to talk about what Avatar had that Dragon Prince just seems to be missing.
Yeah, I felt like Avatar, for what it is, it had an impact on us. It started in
Oh yeah,
season
it
one.
did.
Yeah, exactly. Season one. It had something that we're already like excited. And although we know that Dragon Prince is not the same as Avatar The Last Airbender, they both have different intentions. They both were created for different purposes. At the same time, for it to have the same creators and be avatars with the same creators and not have some sort of like impact or use some sort of things done well in one area than the other area, we need to really discuss like what's the issue and what we feel based off what we're experiencing. So,
Yeah.
I'm curious. What would you least thought about the first season of Dragon Prince?
The first season, I thought it was pretty fun. Like I enjoyed watching it, and it was kind of weird hearing Sokka's voice like the entire time. Um, just because like I view Sokka as not the main character in Avatar. So when I'm hearing Callum with Sokka's voice, I just can't accept him as like the main character for
Yeah.
some reason. I always view him as like not the main character, but he is. So my brain is like slightly confused. But that's just being biased. Like overall, like season one, I thought it ended well. Like it book one ended well. Like it ended on a cliffhanger, which made me want to watch book two. I gotta say book instead of season, but yeah, it had good moments and it was enjoyable. That's what I thought about book one. I gotta say that book two was not as good as book one though, in my opinion.
Really? Okay,
Uh,
okay. I'm kind
and
of.
in terms of like the ending for sure, because book two ended like I don't know, it ended in a spot where I just don't feel like I want to watch the third book, as badly as when I ended book one. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. Funny, I'm kind of on the opposite end with you because for me, and this is why I felt like we had to use both of these books. My biggest problem, I mean, the show, again, I agree with you. It's enjoyable, it's fun, it makes you laugh. Although I feel like partially my issue with this show is the humor aspect sometimes takes too much of control than the narrative aspect. But my biggest issue was with book one. Although it did end on a cliffhanger, I felt like nothing literally happened. Like towards their goal of like trying to go to this place, it was like, oh, the egg got released. That was it. And then these people are after him. And it's like we know these people were gonna be after like the what's it called? We knew that the kid the daughter of the
Soren and Claudia.
yeah, we knew that they were gonna go after them, but it was like nothing like that ever happened until like season two. And it just to me it was just like a big fluff. And I felt that one of the problems that I have with this show, or why it's not as big as, or why it doesn't have the same impact as Avatar, is I felt like there seems to be a lack of consequences. And it wasn't until like the ending of like season two, where the last like I think from episode 7 to episode 9, where we started to see some consequences and stakes, especially with the two princes. Because in the whole beginning of season 1, the princes were never in danger at all. It was only just the elf woman. They were all protected the whole time, which kind of like it killed for me. It was kind of boring for me. You know?
Yeah, when you say protected, do you just mean like they weren't in danger at all? Like
Yeah, I just didn't feel like they were endangered. Like the elf girl was endangered for sure. Rayla, yeah, she was definitely endangered. But the prince, like, they were just like, it just seemed like, I mean, obviously they're trying to protect Rayla, but other than that, it was like for the whole season one, I didn't feel like they were like there was just no danger, there was no threat. Even the two with the kids of the king, or oh my god, the main antagonist.
as
As yeah, with the kids of them, like they just seem like fun, goofy characters that I was just like, even if they did try to come and fight, like if they try to kidnap Colum or Ezrin, like there would be no Like I'm not like it's not like Aang with Zuko or Commander Zhao, where you're like you can tell they want to destroy Aang or they want to complete their goal. It's just like, oh, they're just these fun little like it just seemed like fluff to me, and that was kind of my
I see.
problem.
Yeah. I get what you mean. I get what you're saying. And just to qualify what I said earlier, I was mainly talking about the ending, just in terms of like season one's ending just being better than season two. I don't know. I just felt like in terms of a closing of a book, it just felt like more satisfying to see like the dragon being hatched, or Asmodeus, right? For season two overall, I definitely say a lot more happened, and like for sure it was way more eventful, and there were actually some stakes in it.
Exactly. Yeah, it was like I don't know. I still felt like I think for me, I mean, I guess you could say you said the ending, and I'm just still trying to think about the ending. I guess I could say I will agree with you that I was a little bit more curious in season one's ending than this ending, where I'm not like I'm still. I mean, I'm engaged to watch the next book because of all these consequences and what's going to happen next. But I will say
Yeah.
season one made you more like it did left on a cliffhanger, an interesting cliffhanger. But again, my biggest problem going back to season one was just that I was more curious. Like, wait, I was more like, that's it. Like, I was kind of more of a disappointed curious. Like, wait, I'm
Uh,
done.
I see. I see.
Versus this one, I'm actually like, all right, you know,
Yeah, but to the topic at hand, we're mainly trying to get to why this has less impact than Avatar, right? And
yeah,
one of the things you said was consequences, and that was part of your reasoning, right?
yeah, that's part of my reasoning. Another thing is just I felt that one thing that Avatar does well as a TV series, and it's interesting because it's kind of common with a lot of these like American that's like Western shows that have like anime influences. Is like it has a nice balance between comedy, drama, and action. Like it knows when to be funny, it knows when to be serious, and knows when it has to have action packs. And I feel like with Dragon Prince, there seems to be the humor, although the show's not trying to be a funny show, that seems to be bigger played than the drama or the action. Like there would be some episodes where you barely get any action, or some episodes where the drama is really intenseful, but it's always going to be funny. Versus Avatar, I just felt like you can just watch an episode of Avatar, and sure there might be episodes that are more funnier. Some there might be episodes that have more action. Some episodes that have more drama. It just knew how to balance those, even within like the first few episodes. You're already like I think that's what got us literally hooked, or at least for me. So
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying. Like for some of the episodes in book two, I just whenever somebody got hurt or somebody was like for instance, Callum was in that I don't even know what to call it. He used dark magic and
yeah,
got really like ill, I guess.
yeah,
And he just healed up like right away, and then he could just use the magic right afterwards. It just seemed I don't know. It seemed very. And then the same with Soren. Like he got attacked by the dragon and then got paralyzed. But then now he's back to normal. It's just like
exactly.
it's not like we want them to stay like paralyzed and ill, but it just seems like something should have changed. And
Yeah,
I guess Soren confessed about what his dad told him to do, but are they? I didn't even hear them say anything about like changing their plans. What are they gonna do
yeah,
now?
yeah.
We don't know what's happening with them.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, we don't really know anything about their plans. And with that, and I'm kind of mad about that because I actually did like, again, because for season one, I just thought those characters were jokes. Like, literally. Like, I was like, oh man, they're these comedy, dumb people going to stop them. But then the minute that they were injured, and it was funny because I actually started to care for Soren a lot more than I care about the main characters, just because he was injured and he was just doing this for his father and all this stuff. So the fact that he was going to surrender that, and you feel like his father is going to be the type of guy who's really not going to forgive them for that. I felt more endangered for him. And then now that his leg is healed, it's kind of like, I mean, I guess, maybe they're going to find a new life, but still, it kind of just ruins that thread that they had. So I kind of didn't like that.
Yeah. But I don't know. I still enjoyed what happened in book 2. It's just, I feel like the books itself are, it's fair to compare 2 against 1 in terms of Dragon Prince and Avatar, since there's only 9 episodes
Yeah.
in each book. But it just feels like too little, in my opinion. Like, it feels like not enough really happens in a single book.
Yeah, that's another thing. And the funny thing about season 1 of Avatar, that season was probably the most filler season, if you think about it. Because in
Filled, you mean?
Huh?
Filled, right?
Filler.
I think filler?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're saying like not episodes that aren't towards the story, right?
Well, not even just that, but even the idea where it's like Aang's quest is to master all the elements. But even he said, like, I just want to have fun, basically. And season 1 was the most time where he was trying to have the most fun, if you think about it. So, not to say there wasn't any, like, plot. Like, obviously, the Aang's character is the type of character to have fun. So, obviously, the events in season 1 were important for him to learn that lesson. But if you think about his quests, he really didn't need to do as much as what he did in season 1. He could have just went to the North Pole. Was that their goal?
Yeah.
He could have just went to the North Pole, got his wirelessing skills, and would have been next to the thing. So, but for it to be, even knowing that, and then doing what they did, I still feel like there was a lot more material, a lot more like we never regret every part.
A crap ton more, dude. Like,
yeah.
How many episodes is book 1 for Avatar?
It's
do you know?
20 episodes.
20 episodes? So basically two less episodes for Dragon Prince.
Exactly.
And if we compare the two, in my mind, it feels like Avatar book 1 had like maybe 5 times as much material.
Exactly.
As Dragon Prince book 1 and 2 combined. It's like, that's so weird. It's like,
Yeah. It's just so weird.
I guess you can say they just use their time more wisely. Like,
I think partially could be because it was on a television show. They had to be more. More productive in a certain way. Like they had to fit a certain format. Versus
more concise.
Yeah. Versus this one is like you don't have to be a certain format, which you would think that the advantages of that would be the story would be more sharper. But I think it's just like sometimes things don't really happen until like the end of an episode with Dragon Prince, where it's like, oh, finally, and then it's next episode, and you're like, what?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Definitely, because like book 1 of Avatar, we already got to the point where Admiral Zhao was attacking the North Pole, right?
Yeah.
Dude, that was epic. That was a great ending to a book. That was
exactly
super climactic and like just it was a great climax.
Yeah, it was.
And that's what I'm saying about, like book 2's ending. It just felt really anticlimactic. Like, just felt like that's it, Because when the dragon was born, I was like, oh, that's awesome. But then when book 2 ended, I was like, what? This is it?
Yeah. I feel you. I think the reason why why I kind of like season 2's for Dragon Prince's ending a little bit more than season 1, just because it was like when Ezran was like, you know what, I have to be king, and made those major decisions, which I kind of don't like that he had to do it that fast, but I get why. I mean, the fact that he made those major decisions and then Colum gaining his powers and just the idea that the fact that they got closer to their goal is what made me appreciate it more versus the season 1 where And I get it because the ending with the dragon is more. I will admit that made me more engaged with it. But it's like I just didn't feel like they didn't get anywhere towards their goal. And this one they actually got closer. So that's why I'm really happy about it. But comparing to Avatar: The Last Airbender, I mean, like now I really want to rewatch that ending just to be like, this is a season finale ending, man.
Exactly. Like there's, I don't know, dude. It feels like we're gonna need 2 more books of Dragon Prince in order to even compare like book 1 of Avatar.
Yeah, man. And I mean, even more I think about it, like the fact that we were introduced to Commander Zhao within like episode 4 or 5, and then like we had the Blue Spirit. It just there was just so much stuff that happened.
Love that episode.
Like, just
that episode alone is like already better than, I don't know, book 1
book 1, or even
of Dragon Prince.
or even one of my favorite episodes, and I'm glad they even did this in season 1 in Avatar: The Last Airbender, is when you really figure out why Zuko acts the way he is, where you understand his backstory of him getting banished, and then Aang's backstory of him getting what's it called, getting why he was in under the iceberg. That was all in season 1.
Yeah.
So it's like, so many of the reasons. Versus this show, I really still don't know. And I know they left this out, how the king got killed. Or we don't know if the king was really killed or whatever. We just know that, what's his name? Viren?
Yeah.
Yeah, Viren, that he's just, all we know is that, I mean, he has different moral issues or different beliefs, but we don't really know his like main belief stuff. So it's just, like, you're engaged, but it's like you don't have that, like, now you understand their purpose, and
Yeah, I get what you're saying. And not that we're hating on Dragon Prince. I'm enjoying the show. It's just it's really slow.
Yeah, that's
is
the best
slow
way
the
to
right
say it.
word? Yeah.
Slow, definitely. It definitely is slow, and there's just not much. There's just not enough. A lot of like tension. Not enough like. Yeah, there's just not enough. At least, consequences. There you go. Because there's obstacles, especially in season 2, but you just don't feel like it's like. It's not like it's like most of the obstacles are more internal versus like external.
Yeah, I would say that my favorite episode from season 2, book 2 of Dragon Prince is probably like when they talked about the past.
Yeah, that was actually a good episode. Those 2
Yeah,
episodes.
When they were talking about Ezran's dad and mom.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely a really good episode when they were talking about the past. And one thing I will give Dragon Prince credit for that Avatar: The Last Airbender didn't have, although you can argue that we don't know who's going to be the main villain of Dragon Prince. But as far as Viren, at least we can see that the villains still have like struggles. Because like, I mean, Zuko had a struggle, but that's kind of like I mean, Zuko was Zuko, but like since Viren's kind of like, we don't know who's going to be the main villain, but I'm going to make like right now I'm comparing Viren to like what's his name? Ozai. And for him to see that he's having trouble doing what he's trying to do, it kind of does, you kind of empathize with the villains a lot. So I will give it credit for that.
Okay, so what exactly can Dragon Prince book 1 and 2 learn from Avatar book 1?
For starters, although you can say it's going in that direction now, it needs to definitely have consequences. We need to feel like when we see these villains that we're scared, we're worried that they may stop our heroes. We can't feel like, they're going to be all right. We need to have that like worried stakes there. Another thing is that balance between action, drama, and comedy. They definitely need to, which goes back to the consequences, but they definitely need to rebalance that, They need to really, they need to try to go out with their action. They need to go out with the less out with the comedy, balance with the drama. I just think, they just need to not be afraid to take risk. I think that's the key thing there. They just need to literally be like, they need to make us feel like maybe every 5 episodes, there's like Avatar had what they call the mid-season finales, where there was points within the mid-season where it felt like a finale. They need to do that within their whatever 9 episodes, where there's a point in like episode 5 where it feels like that could have been the season finale, but it's not. So they need to try to do that within their show. But if they can just do that, I think the show would be at least in the same level with Avatar: The Last Airbender.